Or they try to.
We're back with Shea and Mary of Hoffmann-Murtaugh. Let's start with you, Shea, since you're the owner. Well, I was saying the big dog. See, I was trying to.
I like to be known as the big cheese.
The big cheese. How do you guys find new customers?
A lot of things we do is we do a lot of networking. So we find that people want to work with people that somebody already knows or have heard about you or
instant credibility, instant trust.
Yes. Yeah. So when I started out in this business, I did try to cold call in the very beginning because I came from a sales background where there was a lot of cold calling, and
absolutely,
I found it was a lot easier when you're selling a tangible product that's just this. Hey, I'm selling airtime.
The world has changed.
Yeah.
I mean, it really has. I mean, I came from. My business was if you didn't make 500 phone calls, talk to 28 people, set at least 10 meetings, and see at least 3 of those people a week, you weren't going to be. I mean, those were our numbers. Yeah. It was always, what are your numbers?
Yeah.
That world with technology and the way it doesn't work anymore.
Doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And you still see people doing it.
Oh yeah, so I did try that in when I first decided to expand after the big client was I got them more on a consistent basis and didn't have to be there every day. I tried to cold call if I heard a lead or something, would get nowhere. So I started to network, try to meet with different companies that maybe did things that I didn't do, like creative agencies. We do the buying, they do the creativity, different things like that. Just getting out there and meeting with people and then it just started snowballing. I always feel that it takes about 6 months of networking to land one big account. So that is, I mean, at least with my world, that is what has worked. And so,
what about Mary? Because I know Mary, you're more on the front lines from a sales standpoint.
Well, a year ago, I decided to hire Mary because it was time to really, for me as the president, to start more delegation and doing some of the things that the company needed as an overview. And so I brought her on board. And what are my expectations for you as far as cold calls and all that stuff?
Well, like Shea said, in our business, it really doesn't work. And I had always loved her business model, excuse me, and thought that it worked really well. So I did bring her a couple clients
before I even hired her.
Before she hired me. So yeah, I knew that it was like
it
was a great transition.
Yeah, you knew what a happy customer client at the agency looked like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when I said, Shea, I'm ready to come on board, and she said, find me one big client.
And I'll hire you.
So I made a phone call. We had the meeting, found the one big client.
It was like immediate.
Yeah. And it's easy. I mean, she's got the best price in town for media. Yeah. She's the best media planner I know. She's a fabulous negotiator. We're 24/7. So I mean, this is where I wanted to be, and it's great.
We're coming up to a year, but I don't ever tell her, did you call anybody this week?
No.
Did you call 5 people? I never ask her if she calls anybody.
No.
Ever.
She tell you she picked me up at the BizMix at Soldiers and Sailors?
She did.
Yeah.
When you say pick up, that sounds a little provocative.
Yeah, she did. She picked you up.
I walked out.
But she didn't know where she was going. She walked out of the garage. I'm like, you look like you're going to the BizMix. She's like, I am. We'll walk together.
I guess the point I'm
Saturday,
trying to make
you met
is
Saturday
that
night Jimmy, not just Jimmy. Saturday night Jimmy.
It was so much fun. But we do a lot of networking events.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's very important.
you have to hire the right people within your company.
Yeah, talk about that. Talk about growth.
Yeah. Basically, I make sure I hire people that don't need to be managed. I don't want to be a manager. I don't want to be chasing people. Where are you? What are you doing?
Time, for 8 years. You get burnt out after
So I make sure I hire people that are self-motivated. They know what they need to do. We work as a team. And Mary is somebody that has...
But have expectations, though.
Yeah, I make them feel like the growth of the company, it's all of us. We had a great year last year. I bonused everybody. I started just putting more money in their paycheck immediately. So it's not like if I'm going to do better, you're going to do better.
Right.
Theory. because that makes you work harder.
Oh, she takes
So-
very good care of us in every
That's
respect.
not what you said off camera.
What was I saying?
And Mary has an excellent reputation. She's saying about me, but again, I try to hire people that have they're stronger than me in certain weaknesses that I have.
Yeah.
And because not everybody's perfect, so I always try to find somebody that can pick up where I leave off. And Mary, you know, we're both very similar as how we network and meet with people and all that stuff. So I wanted to clone myself, so I hired her, and that's so basically if I'm not out there, I have somebody just like myself out there.
I'm just the older version.
Yes.
Oh, stop it. All right, we're going to come back with Mary and Shea in a minute here, and we're going to talk about, you know, the old saying, 8 out of 10 companies fail.
Mm-hmm.
What makes those two succeed? And I want to kind of get it from your viewpoint, your vantage point, from your expertise on what you see being the keys to success for business owners that are either watching this that have a business or those people that are thinking about starting their business just like you did. What's that look like? All right, we're going to come right back. Hoffmann-Murtaugh.com, right? Mm-hmm. There we go.